retroactive to the two
Yeah.
already
Yeah,
submitted.
that's fine.
Is
Is there objection with that?
Okay,
Alright.
thank you.
All right, so we're in new business here. This is the Coolidge Commons, presentation for tonight. Who's here for that? Okay, I believe we have, you got your map, plus we can put it up here.
Sure.
If you want to. Commissioners, in your packet, you had 3 different maps on here. If you're familiar with Coolidge Road, it's right down Farmington, almost to the border of Pottstown.
Yeah, if you wanna.
So to orient you on the map, the bottom road there is Wilson. That's where they have the go-kart races. If you go all the way to the east on Wilson, you get the intersection. Going north, that is Farmington Road. When you go at the top of the key, you take a left, head back west. That's Coolidge, that's the road. And if you've ever driven up that way, it's really kind of bumpy and stuff, and you kind of go up that road. So, their proposal here with this is R4. This is zoning R4, with 65. So, what we'll do is have the presentation go. If you guys would introduce yourself, are you the engineer, or are you,
Yes, I'm Jim McCarthy from McCarthy Engineering.
engineer, and
And I'm Aaron Jones with Coolidge Commons.
with whom?
Coolidge Commons,
The developer,
What's,
the property owner.
yeah, what's, American Land?
American Land
Couldn't
Development.
be here.
Okay, alright.
American Land Development's the parent development company, the LLC for this is Coolidge Commons LLC.
There's a parent company.
Everyone creates an LLC for each project.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so if you wanna go ahead and outline the plan? and
Yes.
the Commissioners can ask when feel free to ask when you want to, folks.
Sure, so what we're looking to do here is to construct 65 apartments on private drives with parking contained on the lots as well as garages for the units. The main access would be off of Wilson, that will be used on a regular basis every day. We are proposing an emergency access to unopened Coolidge for fire. It's kind of the reason why we have it coming in like that hook angle there would be to make it easy for any type of fire apparatus that will be coming in from Farmington to just make a sweeping left entry into the site rather than have a standard 90-degree intersection for that purpose. As well as this could also be used while they have I forget the exact name of what you said, the Soapbox Derby kart race. When we presented this to Pottstown Borough, that was their concern of the weekend when they have the race, about that driveway there. So this, during that time period of that Friday to Sunday afternoon is my understanding from them of when it's held, that would be barricaded essentially by Pottstown Borough, and we would have to use the emergency access. What we're proposed, so for the emergency access, I should bring this up. One of the questions asked at the planning commission, and it took a while to go through all this, but we had our surveyors examine, I brought copies for everyone. Here, about 10.
When you say planning commission, you mean Pottstown?
No,
No.
I think you
Staff
had
meeting?
staff.
This, I'm sorry, the
staff.
staff meeting, yeah.
Wait a minute.
So we were asked to determine what the disposition of Coolidge Street is, and Reed Garrett, our head of surveying, who has been surveying a long time, we just had the 80th surprise birthday party for him, so he's done a lot of boundary retracement, and essentially this Coolidge is not a public road, it is not a borough township road, private road. It's not owned by any of the adjoining property owners. It actually reverts back to Hugh Moore and his lovely wife Mary. That's actually how it was written on the deed from the 1926 plan of Brookview. There was a note on a 1972 plan of Brookview on the south side of Coolidge that the township would not be responsible for the cost to maintain paved curb or storm sewer, etc. of Coolidge Road. There was no evidence that we found anywhere, recorded or unrecorded, that showed it was ever even offered to Upper Prospero for dedication, as a road. So obviously, I mean, I think there was some discussion about potential vacation, but since it was never, dedicated to the township, it can't be vacated, so. Essentially, all those properties on there, and I'm not, you have your solicitor, you can weigh in. Basically, they've used it as a beaten path rule for, 50+ years. So the individual properties have a right to continue to use that. Getting title for anybody would be almost impossible, for that. So what we were proposing to do would be to improve that to improve it to a two-way cartway, at least from our property where we show the driveway, the emergency driveway access coming out to Farmington, to make it 18 feet wide, paved. That way 2 vehicles could pass. There's plenty of width for any type of fire apparatus, whether it's ladder truck, regular truck, whatever have you, to get in there. Originally, we were looking at it more of a one, just to get fire vehicles in and get EMS services, in, but then thinking more about the soapbox derby, we kind of thought probably better to widen it out to 18 feet paved so that 2 cars could pass, on that weekend of year when the race is going on Wilson Street. We're proposing to extend sewer and water, to the intersection of Wilson and Farmington. So it would be connecting to the Pottstown Borough system there. All roads, everything on site would remain private. There would be, nothing offered for dedication, essentially one big property with rental units. We show some areas for open space on the plan. We show some potential, stormwater management areas. Probably be additional, some underground storage under the parking areas. The one thing, speaking with the developer today, they previously were proposing, if you see the residue parcel, that backs up along the rear of the properties on Farmington, says residue 68,809 square feet, and there's dwelling on that. They've decided that were going to eliminate that dwelling and eliminate that, and just incorporate that all, property into the development, rather than try and keep that one house over there behind those residents. I figured it would be, it'd be nicer for everyone involved if that structure just went away. So essentially that, acre and a half roughly would revert back into the overall development.
Can I speak?
No, go on.
Okay.
Commissioners, do you have questions?
The emergency access, you're gonna widen that, with the exception of fire apparatus and the soapbox derby, will that be gated?
Yes. Yeah, and then we would have, obviously the township, EMS, fire, police, everyone would have access to the gate entry to that gate. We usually work with seems like normally the fire chief is the one that determines what kind of gate and lock system they want, on there. We would have that in case, so that obviously, when they need it, we want them to get in there as quick as possible. You don't want somebody fumbling around looking for a key or a combination or something along those sorts.
So it's 65 units, 2 cars per, coupled with 44 parking places? Additional ones?
There's 44, additional.
Okay. And then,
Right.
do you foresee any type of waivers at all?
Well,
You can do this all by right?
we don't see any waivers at this point.
Okay. And then it says option 2, is there other options?
But there was just various different sketch plans that were done before we made any type of submission to the township.
Okay. And you mentioned in the residual area, that barn's gonna go away?
Yes.
Is there any historical issues within those structures?
No. No, nothing came back on the PND or the PHMC for the property as far as anything endangered or anything historic.
Okay, commissioners, any questions? Okay,
I
resident.
do. Are these rental units or are they condominiums?
Rental units.
Rental units. And 2 cars per unit, where are they gonna park? I don't see it.
There's a space, there's a single garage in each
Okay.
townhouse unit.
Oh.
So one in the garage and one in the driveway,
I see that.
minimum.
Okay.
And then the additional 44, for visitors and what have you.
So the white space next to the gray space is a parking spot?
The white is lawn.
Oh, so it's back,
Yeah, they'll be tail end to tail end.
okay. Well, that's kinda cheap. Where's, okay, rental units, I'm assuming kids will be in here, where are they gonna play? There's no yard, I mean, is there an area, a congregation?
We have open space, the whole 1,200 plus feet of frontage along Wilson, back approximately 150 feet. And then we have the open space area to the north. That's another area of 150 by, maybe more like 100 by 350.
Okay, so, that's fine, I'm sure our planning commission will address this, but one thing I didn't understand was this road back here, there's no deed for it, so who owns it? I mean, who owns it?
Hugh Seymour and his lovely wife Mary,
Oh,
from 1926.
alright, are they,
We should all put that in our deeds, our wives probably be a lot happier.
but are they, are you the owners or the equitable owner, how does this work? I mean, did you get that ownership of that road? Yeah,
Nobody, that road, no one can get ownership of that road. No one can get clear title to that.
But you got title of the rest of the ground already.
Yes.
if you can't get clear tile road, how can you put a road on it? I guess I
Because the
missed,
beaten paths are all of known usage for years.
okay. Alright, well, I guess this is only
It's informational for us.
informational.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to come in because the road, the disposition of the ownership of the road was something that we were requested to look into, and that took a considerable amount of time and effort, and, to report back, and with that finding, as well as come in and present informally the layout.
Okay, and just so, and you said you briefed, Pottstown already?
We were in Pottstown in November.
Okay, and did they have any issues? It seems like to me your egress route is all gonna go through to Wilson? Is that
Yes. Pottstown's only concern was during the Derby,
really?
the weekend of the access, so at the time, we didn't know what was going on with Coolidge, and we weren't showing an access to Coolidge, so that was their concern. Otherwise, all the improvements, with the exception of the first 150 feet of the private drive, are within the township. So, the sewer and water hookups would be in the borough. And the borough's concern was, what do we do, and we're gonna shut Wilson down for the Derby.
Now, Farmington in that area, is that a state road?
No.
Farmington's a-
Farmington's
uh,
a town road.
Oh, okay.
yeah, Farmington.
Alright, well, I mean, during the process, we will learn how much more police timing we need to address something like this. Not timing, how much more police resources we need. And I guess our planning commission's got a big one,
They will, yes.
When do you guys project dropping the plan?
Formal plan submission is what he's asking.
I don't believe we've set a date for that.
Okay.
I mean,
Still
at this-
informational, so if all.
I would think in the next few months. We've done it, to do the road disposition, had to do a complete boundary and topographic survey of the property and surrounding properties to confirm all that, so. We don't have the normal wait to do all that. And
Okay, we appreciate it. Any commissioners have any additional?
So is Coolidge Street on our street map? The township street map,
I don't,
Yeah, it's.
I mean, well, we go,
I think it's listed as unopened.
So
on your
it
map.
has a dash line.
That's why,
Yeah.
yeah,
that's why we labeled it unopened Coolidge, because that's how it's shown on your street
okay,
map,
that's
but
what I was doing. And
right.
then the other one, the three kind of out parcels that are in the middle, the street that gets to them, how are you handling that one? And I'm using the term street there very loosely, because I think you have it as a broken asphalt street.
So
I'm not following your
You
question.
talking about, if you look at the private drive C,
this one right
Yes.
here.
below that street right on that border, so it says
How are you
Cabo.
handling those three properties maintaining access there?
Private road C.
Harding Street, off of State Road.
No, it says broken asphalt road, right,
It's right here. No, it doesn't, it goes all,
Yeah, it's up.
it goes all the way out.
Yeah, that goes up to
kind of
State,
town.
and it's similar to Coolidge, but it comes off of State, and it's the same, yeah, I don't know where
People
exactly
don't
it's
use
at.
that for access now.
What's that?
so these people access all this speed.
Right,
Right.
that's exactly, how are you maintaining that, or?
We're not touching it.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not touching that.
It looks like it straddles the property line, so I didn't know.
I believe that's the hedge there. There's a tree row along that line. The driveway, I believe, ends at the western property line, right by where it says, North 19th, 2328.
I'm just following along, and I'd say, just, obviously, as you come through, just make sure you're addressing that. Make sure those three property owners are maintaining, are there houses there? I think there are, right?
Yeah, I delivered up there, it's
Yeah.
not an easy way to get in there.
Exactly.
Okay, other
Okay.
questions?
It's not a question you need to answer now. I
Okay,
just
we
wanna
have,
make sure you're-
remember, this is comments, hold on to questions, just comments. Yes, sir, please.
Sure, hi, my name's George Finnegan, I've reside at 23 Coolidge Avenue since June 21st, 2003. And of course, I pay taxes, the road is a mess, I don't know who owns the road. We know, I'm not bringing it up for a subject, but we know a little bit with the plowing and whatever stuff that the township can and can't do because of the status of the road, right? That's okay. But two things, I see where they're coming out, that's basically right in my driveway. So I just wanna say that it's not, the road is nothing and it doesn't affect anything, it affects me. And that's important, and my wife, we raised our kids there,
Excuse me,
we
sir,
are
you talking
retiring
about
there.
your road, the emergency access coming out, that's,
See right here.
I can't see there, I can see this map, and it looks like the darker area that comes out between Delaware and Pennsylvania.
Yep.
That's my job.
Okay.
is that where it's at?
So, and
Right.
then,
Okay.
and then another comment, if you bring the traffic off Coolidge from the development, in the morning with the bus company, in the evening, when the buses are coming out of D&D, I think it would be kinda hectic. Besides my real point, that's my block as far as, it will affect me, of course, so, thank you.
So just to make it clear, on the, you guys are not gonna be using Coolidge for the major,
It would be the weekend, Coolidge would only be open for
oh, so
emergencies.
you're actually gonna close it?
No, the gate would be gated.
On your
On
side?
our property, we wouldn't
Okay.
affect anyone else's access to Coolidge.
Okay.
And we'd be improved, we're saying we'd improve it from where we show that hook coming in out to Farmington.
Okay. Sir, any more comments then? Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Any more comments?
No,
Good to go?
Thank
No.
you.
Thanks. Commissioner, good to go? All right, thank you so much for the presentation.
All right, thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you.